right, guys, help me out here. Help me out with the details that you have. Leave me a comment. I assure you that I read them. But I woke up today and Anderson Silva has signed to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a boxing match, and they're going to do it in Mexico. I don't have any other details. I don't know if that's open stadium. I don't know the relevance to Mexico, and I also don't know what organization. Organization matters because then I can figure out how to watch it. Is this something that pops up on pay-per-view? Is this going to be online only? What is it, what we need to do? I don't know the date of the match either, but I must tell you, there's a couple of things that are really cool about that. I mean, the mere fact that Anderson wants to go on, has always wanted to box, is now getting the chance to go on. Owen is going to go box, and then signed up for a great boxer. I mean, right, there's a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. amongst boxing fans has been booed out of the arena before. But we can all also recognize he's a boxer. He had no choice. He didn't know anything but boxing. His old man was a boxer. He raised him in this from day one. Anderson's just going to walk over there and get into it with him. I mean, first off, good Anderson, respect. That's got to be a hard way to get a debut into boxing. But you also have to look at it and go, how did we get here? What state is boxing in? And I get very inclined to tease boxing, to tease them that they've got to do a Mike Tyson, to tease them that they've got to do a De La Hoya. At the same time, I'm watching what Mike Tyson does. I'm looking forward to hear who De La Hoya is going to do it with. So as much as I come out and my first inclination is to be negative and be a hater about it, I think a little bit more realistic is maybe I like this spot. I do get a feeling when Mike comes out. I would get the same feeling if Evander came out. And they were talking about Buster Douglas at some point. I've completely lost touch with Peter McNeely. But I mean, there were some names that you could bring me. I want to see the rules adjusted. I like the 8 rounds at 2 minutes apiece with 60 seconds. I mean, there's things that I like and want to see, but what is the state of boxing? Am I that starved for boxing? And if I am, and the answer appears to be yes, I don't think that's on me. That's got to be on the leadership of boxing, that they haven't brought me anything better. I don't have a better choice or suggestion right now than to watch Oscar De La Hoya's fight coming up. I don't have a better substitute to fill in for Mike Tyson's next return. That's boxing and boxing's leadership. I want to see Anderson box this guy. And I don't love the idea of guys plus 40 or the backsides of their MMA career. I don't love that idea. I watched and supported Pat Militich's last fight, but after I watched the fight, okay, but we're done here, right? Nobody that was involved here thinks that was good or that should be seen or done again. Yeah, they do. They couldn't quite see it all the way with me. So it's one of these things where this is a mess. How did we get here? Is there a strategy putting in place now to get us out of this? And the one thing that you do have that's problematic when you have the old dogs come back, because there's something very nostalgic about these veterans that return. I get it, and so do you. But we have a problem because they are not and do not pretend to be contenders. So if they're taking main event and co-main event spots in matches that do draw, are entertaining, but do not have anything to do with a competitive architecture, you can just see where that is not sustainable. That could be fun tonight. So if you want to do a one-off, you're a one-off promoter, you want to have something and attach your name and get a poster and you can show your buddies that you're the one losing the money on this thing, yeah, that's a pretty good move for you. But if you want to have a sustainable business that you can come back and do again tomorrow and the next day, making sure that your profits exceed your expenditures, it's not rocket science. That is not sustainable. So where do we go from here? What is this fight for? One thing that Reed Harris explained this to me. I was 28 years old, but I've never forgot when Reed told me it. And he was talking about other promotions. And he was saying the big mistake other promotions make is they put on matches of no consequence. They put on matches that aren't for titles, for qualification of titles. They put on a match to fill up a card to get to the main event, which brought everybody in. But if you want to be around, you need to have matches of consequence. Very simple perspective. But that's from one of the few guys who's ever made it in this business. And I think that Reed Harris's principle that he taught me 15 years ago really does apply when you're bringing in some of these older guys to do the boxing. This could be really fun for tonight. But where do we go from here, and why are we here? Mike Tyson did a great job in his last fight with Roy Jones to talk about why we're here. Openly said need to make a few bucks, and then openly talked about how good it felt to get back into shape, to start living that life right, and how much he missed it. Man, that's an easy story to get behind. But it worked one time. Now it's turning to, yeah, I'm still a star boxer. I can bring in a lot of things. I'm going to need to negotiate and get a contract. Whoa, stop. You're changing the narrative. We, the audience, came along this journey for one set of reasons. If you try to change that set of reasons, we're going to change our participation too.